Elden Ring has some of the best bosses in Souls history, and the DLC made that even more apparent. I think most people say Elden Ring has either the best or second best boss cast in Souls history. So today I wanted to rank every single remembrance boss in Elden Ring, including Shadow of the Erdtree. I won't be including bosses like Bayle, Commander Nile, Loretta, basically any boss that's not a remembrance boss can qualify for this list, even though I really want to include bosses like Bayle because he is fantastic and will be super high on this list. So the worst remembrance boss in Elden Ring is Commander Gaius. I absolutely do not like this guy at all. And the thing that really annoys me with him is that he could have been so good. His arena is nice, his design is nice, but he has this one dash attack that has the most broken hitboxes ever. And he keeps doing that move, so it just brings down the entire fight for me, man. Number 24, we have the Fire Giant. Honestly, the Fire Giant isn't awful, but I don't think he's good by any means. My main problem with him is I feel like his health bar is way too large. I don't think he's necessarily difficult, but unless I'm using a status effect like Bleed or Frost or whatever, I feel like his fight just takes way too long. I think his second phase is pretty annoying. Like, he only takes good damage if you go for his arms, and his arms are in the air half the time. And of course, you can do damage to other parts of his body. Like I said, unless I'm using a status effect, the fight just takes too long. I don't think it's a hard fight or like a really bad fight by any means, but I think it just drags on way too long and overstays its welcome for me to really enjoy it. Number 23, I have the Regal Ancestor Spirit. Again, another fight that I don't necessarily think is awful, but I just don't really enjoy it. This guy's moveset are really annoying. I feel like he's constantly running away from you. He has a really annoying heal move that does a lot of damage to you and gives a lot of his health back. Like, visually, he's stunning, but I just really don't like his moveset, so that really brings him down. And the thing is, almost every Elden Ring boss is visually really stunning, so that doesn't really give him too many bonus points in this game. Number 22, I have the Mother of Fingers. Honestly, I was incredibly disappointed in this fight just because, like, she has a really cool quest line attached to her. She's really important to the overall lore of Elden Ring. And again, same thing as the Regal Ancestor Spirit, her arena is just absolutely stunning. But the fight itself, it just does not flow well at all to me. I just cannot put it any higher. I just don't enjoy it at all. Number 21, I have Renala, and after this point, I would say every boss on the list is good. Of course, there's levels to how good they are, but I think Renala is a good fight, so everyone above her is also going to be a good fight. I do have some problems with Renala, though. I think her first phase, honestly, has a really cool gimmick attached to it, but I feel like on replays, the charm of the gimmick is kind of taken away, and it really drags down the entire fight. That's why it's here for me. I do really enjoy her second phase. Again, it's stunning, but the first phase does bring it down. Number 20, I have Romina, and this might be the first controversial pick on this list because I really did not enjoy Romina's fight. There are aspects of it I really like. I wish I could put her higher. Like, I think her design's really pretty, her moveset looks really nice. Her lore is actually really good. She has a really interesting story attached to her. Like, there isn't one thing I can pinpoint that I don't enjoy about Romina, but just the overall fight, it's not something I like, so I can't really put her any higher. Even though I consider her to be good, she's just definitely not a boss for me. Number 19, I have the flower. Honestly, the flower, like I said, it's pretty good, and basically every praise I've said for every other boss, visually, it's really stunning. I think the 3 health bars actually done in a really fair manner of when you first kill the first health bar, you'll be like, okay, no way that was it. So expect the second health bar. The third one might catch a few people off guard, but I think if you consider the damage you're doing to him and the damage you've done to every other DLC boss before him, you'll be like, okay, that's expected. So I think the 3 health bars were done in a pretty fair way. My main problem with him is I do not like his third phase. Just that explosion move that tracks you is really annoying. There are plenty of things. I think the status effects he gives you, like Bleed, can be annoying. His moves have too much range. There's just little nitpicks I have about him that bring him down compared to the other bosses on this list, but he's good, like I've said. Number 18, I have Fortisax. Honestly, my main problem with Fortisax, I think that's how you say his name, is he just has the moveset of every other ancient dragon. So that kind of brings down the hype of his fight. Getting to this boss that looks visually stunning. It's connected to Godwin, but then he just has the moveset of every other ancient dragon. And I'm honestly not the biggest fan of the normal ancient dragon moveset anyways, so he just feels like a boss that has a lot of style but not a lot of substance to me. Number 17, I have the Putrescent Knight. Honestly, I just don't have much to say about this guy. I don't think there's anything terrible about him. I don't necessarily have any complaints about him. But I just don't think he excels in anything either. Like, sure, his arena's nice, but that's like literally every Elden Ring boss is visually stunning. His moveset is unique, but every Elden Ring boss seems unique to me. So he's just kind of in the middle of the pack for me. Nothing special, but nothing bad. Number 16, I have Estelle. And honestly, we're getting into the fights that I really like now because I actually really do enjoy Estelle. His design is just stunning. His boss arena is dope. His moveset is pretty cool. I do think he has way too many like get off me moves. And his hitbox can be a bit wonky sometimes. But besides that, I really do enjoy him. Number 15, I have Rykard, and even though this may seem like a low placement for him, it's really not. I love his fight. My main problem with Rykard is that he's a gimmick fight. Even if he's the best gimmick fight ever, he's still a gimmick fight, and being forced to use one weapon against him can be annoying, especially with how many times I've replayed the game. That just really brings him down for me. I think he's perfect, but he doesn't fit my preference in some ways. Number 14, I have Godric the Grafted, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what happened, but I feel like during Elden Ring's lifespan, Godric kind of became downplayed by the community. I really can't tell you why. Is it because of his lore? Is it because he's an early game boss? I don't know. But when you fight him with a fresh new character, I always really enjoy his fight. I think he has really great moves, great cutscenes, a really fun phase transition. I think he's just all around a perfect second boss for Elden Ring. I just love him a lot. Number 13, I have Star Scourge Redon. Honestly, this fight spectacle is like next level. Arguably the most hype fight ever. Like, I just love the whole gimmick around the festival. But I feel like after your first time seeing it, the charm of the festival kind of goes down. And I think his moveset is good. I mean, obviously, if he's top 13 in Elden Ring, I think his moveset is good. But I think the others above him are just a lot better. But I don't want to downplay him at all. He's an excellent boss with a lot of spectacle behind him. I would understand if someone has him higher 100%. Number 12, I have the Dancing Lion. This was a great first fight for the DLC. There was some things about it that I didn't like though. For example, the camera angles were like really annoying at times. Like, I don't know if it was because of his size or the fact he moved so much, but the camera angles did mess me up a few times. But outside of the camera angles, I thought he was essentially a great boss with a lot of like cool move sets. His aggression was really insane, but it's okay. It prepares you for the DLC because most DLC bosses are just really aggressive in this. Number 11, I have Malekith the Black Blade. Honestly, this fight is like really inconsistent to me because I have playthroughs where I love it and I have playthroughs where I absolutely don't like it. But the best way I can describe this fight for me is like I love his second phase cutscene. I love his second phase. I'm not the biggest fan of his first phase. It has really grown on me over time, but I just can't put him any higher as of right now. Because the bosses I have above, I just prefer their two phases more. I just prefer one of their phases a lot more than a second phase. So that's why it's number 11 for me. Number 10, I have Morgott. Probably my favorite Elden Ring character. I just love his story so much, and I like his fight a lot too. My only problem with Morgott isn't even him, it's more so his placement. Whenever I get to him, I feel like I'm over leveled, even though I didn't even mean to over level. I just think his base HP is a little too low. I wish he had more health, maybe a second phase. To me, I love his moveset, but most of the time the fight is usually over before I can get too invested into anything. Number 9, I have Rilana. Oh my god, this fight flows so well, man. This was the first DLC boss that I actually got stuck on, so her moveset really stuck with me, and when I replayed the DLC, I had a lot of fun with her. There isn't many complaints I have about her. The only complaint I have isn't even a gameplay complaint, but I wish she had a cutscene. I feel like that would have really elevated her fight, but besides that, she's essentially perfect to me. Number 8, I have Dragon Lord. This fight is just so hype. Arguably the best looking fight visually in Elden Ring or All of Souls. I just love this fight. I don't know how to describe him, man. Walking into his arena for the first time and seeing him in his boss arena was just a feeling that a lot of bosses can't replicate. And no matter how many times I replay Elden Ring, I still have a fun time fighting him, so he's just going to be high for me. Number 7, I have Midra, Lord of Frenzied Flame. There's just so much that I love about this fight. The build up in his mansion is excellent. Walking into the room and seeing an old man and killing him and the Lord of Frenzied Flame coming out is just absolutely super sick. There's a lot I love about this fight. Also, the whole fight feels like a dance. I've fought him 3 times now and I love it every single time. Number 6, I have Mohg, and Mohg is just one of the best bosses ever. Past this point, all of these 6 bosses are some of my favorites of all time. First of all, Mohg's cutscene is one of the best cutscenes all of Elden Ring. So his fight already starts with a bang. Then you actually get into the fight, and the fight is just as good as this cutscene. I love the entire thing from start to finish. There are a lot of items that can make him a lot easier, but I never usually use those items because I just want to enjoy him to his fullest potential. But he can be pretty hard if you don't use those items. His fight just has such a slow tempo to it. I think it's because all of his attacks are delayed, and that makes the fight really unique and fun to me. Number 5, I have Melania. I know this fight used to be really controversial. I'm not sure if it's as controversial as it used to be, but I love Melania. I know some people say she's too hard or there's poor balancing in her fight, but I honestly really enjoy the difficulty. I do think some of her moves are a little unbalanced, but the overall experience feels really smooth to me. And I just really love how intense the fight is. So I can't really put her any lower because she's one of the only bosses that every single time I've fought her, I've had a blast. Number 4, I have Radagon. Again, this is a really hard one for me because I'm not sure if this fight is still as controversial as it used to be. I know a lot of people love Radagon. He's one of my favorite bosses ever just by himself. But the problem usually comes with Elden Beast. And even though I understand the complaints with Elden Beast, I still think he's pretty good. Obviously, he's a downgrade from Radagon. I think Radagon is just the perfect first phase. But I feel like it would be too easy without Elden Beast. And with the addition of Torrent, I think a lot of people like Elden Beast a lot more now. But it's a fight that I've always really enjoyed. Radagon and Elden Beast together. Just a really nice combo together, in my opinion. Number 3, we have Godfrey. Now, Godfrey is a really hard one for me to talk about just because I think his fight is essentially perfect. So I don't have much to say about it. Can't really break anything down. His fight has 2 amazing cutscenes, 3 amazing phases. The whole tempo of the fight flows so well. His moveset, it's so diverse but so fun. I just can't say enough positive things about Godfrey. Just all around perfect fight. Number 2, I have the Promised Conqueror. There's a lot of interesting points about this guy. I really enjoy him. I think his move flows super well. I have never felt so accomplished after beating him, so I was extremely hyped. But I know some people don't like him because of his difficulty, and I think that's fair. I don't think he's overall unbalanced, but I do think he has a few moves that could be tweaked down to make him better. I do agree that he's the hardest boss from software has ever made. I know some people didn't like the fact that it was just Radon, and I can get behind that too. I really do wish we got to see something about Godwin, but I always wanted to see Prime Radon, so that really wasn't a problem for me either. So even though I understand the complaints that surround him, I personally really enjoyed the fight. My experience with it was way too good for me to put him any lower on this list. Number 1, I have Mesmer the Impaler. Now, this is one of the best bosses ever, if not the best boss ever. I can't say enough positive things about him. He has the 2 best cutscenes in Elden Ring. And Elden Ring is a game filled with amazing cutscenes. His moves flow so well, the first phase and second phase. All his moves feel fair but challenging, so you never get tired of fighting him. I honestly could see him become my favorite boss ever over time, but right now, he's number 1 in Elden Ring. And I don't know exactly where he is in all of Souls, all of gaming, but he's definitely one of the best ever. So that was my ranking of every remembrance boss. One thing I'm excited for is to come back to this video in a few months to see how much this list changes. Because obviously this is going to change. The DLC for Elden Ring is still very new. I know a lot of people are still experimenting with new builds, new characters, and I'm the same way. So my opinion will definitely change about how the DLC and base game bosses stack up against each other. But this is what I felt right now. I'm honestly really excited to watch other people's rankings on the remembrance bosses of Elden Ring to see what people consider to be the best boss, what people consider to be the worst boss. So that's something exciting to look forward to.